With it now being June, I have read 26 books, and 5 of those have been 5 stars. So that's this video. Okay, so the first book I actually read in 2024 was Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. A story about basically the community in Cannery Row in like the 30s or something. Steinbeck's best friend, Ed Ricketts, has a character that's based off of him, and he's kind of the central character. And the story kind of follows his friends. They're like, we should do something nice for Doc. So then they try to throw a party for him, but stuff goes wrong. And the grocery store owner, Lee Chong, who is from, which I don't know, the name is kind of, but he's a Chinese immigrant, and just kind of follows like all of their lives and like how much Doc has impacted just the town itself, and how much he deserves like a celebration. And even though like it doesn't happen super well, like just his thankfulness. So like community of like, even though Cannery Row is like really poor and like the canneries are smelly and everything, and like it kind of like makes it feel like this would be like the worst place to live ever, but the community and like the people are actually, everyone's just really happy. And it also shows how Doc is like the central person, and his like when he's sad, everything just kind of goes down. Everyone relies on Doc just being like a rock, and so when he's not doing great, the whole town isn't doing great. Okay, so my second 5-star read of this year was Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, which, oh my god, don't even get me started on this book. It is so good. It follows a woman who during COVID is telling her 3 daughters of like the story of how she was an actor. She worked beside and dated this really famous actor, Peter Duke. It follows this whole story and like her eventually meeting her husband. So good. It's kind of just about how the simplicity of like living on a cherry farm and like not being famous is really what like Duke wanted all along. As much as being famous sounds amazing, like living on a cherry farm with like the people you love and being close, like that's what happiness is, you know? And it's so good. I don't even know how to describe how much I love Tom Lake. It's so good. It's definitely one of my favorite books of all time. And the third 5-star that I have this year, which I actually have, and guys, I got rid of it. This cover is not doing so hot, but is The Women by Christian Hannah. It's during the Vietnam War, and her brother enlists the Marines. Yeah, and he goes off to war. The whole family like generation are war heroes, and her father was not, but he feels really awful for that. And they have this room where all these pictures are, and it's called the Wall of Heroes, and the only woman that's on it is because it's a wedding picture. Frances decides that after her brother enlists, that she wants to enlist and be a nurse because she wants to help as much as she can, and she wants to get on the Wall of Heroes. Soon after, I don't know, this might be a little spoiler, but it's not really, it's right in the beginning of the book, her brother, he goes missing, and she hasn't told her parents yet that she enlisted, and then she tells her parents, and they're like, oh my god, no, you can't go, and it's too late. And so she does go, and she does 2 tours, and it's just phenomenal. It follows her in Vietnam, but then also afterwards, and all of the trauma that she had. When she comes back, her father won't put her on the Wall of Heroes because she's a woman, and she didn't fight in the army. Really just showing how important the women of Vietnam were and how much they're forgotten, but they should be honored. My fourth 5-star read of this year was Night by Elie Wiesel. It's his memoir from being in Auschwitz and concentration camps. And it's so good. It's really short, but it's very powerful, and it really chronicles how awful it was. And one thing that he said about it was like where Anne Frank's story ends is where his begins, and I think it's really important. It's so good, and I actually read it for school. It's also like very kind of unemotional. Wiesel just kind of like explains like he's feeling in the moment, but not his anger in the present. And also, you know, Wiesel has a huge mission to like bearing witness and making sure people know his story and just know the story and the horrors of everything. Is really good. Most recent 5-star read is Sweet Thursday by John Steinbeck. This is the sequel to Cannery Row, and honestly I love this one even more. This one also follows Doc. It's like he kind of falls in love, and like again, everyone trying to do stuff nice for him, and like kind of, you know, it's just the community again. And there's a lot of different characters in this one from the first one, but there's a lot of the same ones, and it's so good. It's so good. I literally, all of these books on this list today, like, I would reread. I would recommend them to everyone I love. But like, even though there's poverty and like sickness and like, not sickness, and also this takes place after World War II, so like even though that happened and stuff, like they still find like love within each other, and just it's just so good. It's so good. It's so good. Those are my 5 favorite books so far in 2024. It has honestly, it's been a really good year for reading for me. 26 books might not sound like a lot, but for me it is. And if you read that or less, like, keep going, because honestly, it doesn't matter how many books you read. What's important is that you are reading and that you are like learning new stories from people, because reading is how we grow empathy. Bye. See you in the next one. I don't know. This is my first video. I hope you enjoy.